On this week's episode, Brent does the truffle shuffle. Micah is setting booty traps, and I am legally changing my name to One-Eyed Willie. Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the program, nerds. Happy to have you here. I'm Larry Brantley, along with my two besties, Micah Donahoe.
Greetings, programs.
And Brent Williams.
I'm hungry.
Along with our producer, Chris Hockenberry, and we are the nerdherfers. We are four middle-aged guys who enjoy whiskey and cigars and all the nerdy shit we loved when we were kids, and we are straight up going back to our kid years on this episode.
It's our time down here.
Our time down here. Absolutely. God, I love that you threw that in there. Easy. Take about 25% off there, Squirrely Dan. All right. Hey, if you've never seen the show before, or if you've never just done it before, please go out to nerdherfers.com and subscribe so you can find out when new episodes drop. We've got cool stuff out on our website. We've got a merch store. We've got a cigar store. Fun stories for all. You can also go out to our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/@nerdherfers and subscribe to that so you can see the podcast in all of its middle-aged glory. Here's how the show works. Every week, one of us brings a bottle of whiskey to a sample. One of us is going to bring... Okay. I keep getting cues from our producer that have nothing to do with the show, and I get a little distracted. So stop doing that! Anyway, one of us brings a bottle of whiskey for all of us to try. One of us brings a cigar for us to review, and then we all have this topic of conversation that we're going to nerd out about. And it's super fun and great. And then here is a new thing that we're doing on the show. I'm just kidding. We don't have a new thing. I don't have a new thing.
I panicked there for a second.
We literally...
What are we doing? I don't have a bit for it. There's no button ready.
I did that just to see what the kind of reaction I would get out of you.
Hold on a second. Is my face red?
It is. But, you know, the good news is most of people listen to this podcast, so they can't see your red face.
Ooh, goodness.
But it matches his shirt right now, which is extremely
I'm not sleeping
red.
at all tonight.
Oh, my gosh. So good. So good. All right. Hey, before we do that, though, we're going to do a little thing that we like to call... Nerd News. It is last week's Nerd News today. This is the portion of the show where we talk about weird, unusual, and nerdy shit that's happening out in the world. And to do that, we can only go to one person. That's our anchor person, Brent Williams, who does all of the research because Mike and I just can't be bothered.
I know.
Brent, what do you got for us this week?
Okay.
Well, sigh.
Okay. So I don't know if you guys knew this, but there's an asteroid named 2024 YR4
We're so effed.
that was in danger of hitting the planet.
What was past tense?
Yeah.
Did Bruce Willis or Elijah Wood get involved?
Yeah, Elijah Wood.
Yeah. Deep Impact. Came out the same year as Armageddon.
Elijah Wood?
Moving on.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe fact check that for us.
Oh,
producer.
I am right.
You know what? I'm inclined to believe
he's right. Chris says he's right.
Okay.
Never
mind.
Moving on. He's right. So anyway, the odds of it hitting a large city, vaporizing a large city on the Earth, have been as high as 3.1%, which I guess astronomically speaking is large. I don't know. But anyway, it's actually dropped now between 0.16 and 0.27%.
Does this mean that we need to start doing shows that we really, really want to do right now, right. Just in case?
We've only got a couple years, man. However, which is actually that low percentage, that 0.16, 0.27 is very common, actually, with near Earth objects. However, the percentage of it hitting our moon has gone up.
Oh, shite!
But that could be a problem too, right?
Yeah, that's going to be.
I've watched science fiction movies,
so it's risen from 0.3% to 1.2%. And scientists are actually excited about it because if it hits the moon, they can study the impact of the hit and asteroids and all that kind of stuff.
Before the rest of the Earth is destroyed because we don't have a moon anymore?
Yeah, because our tides get messed up and the Earth floods and all that kind of stuff.
Our chance increased with 1%. Maybe I'm bad at math.
Yeah.
Well,
correct.
I think we're all bad at math.
No, you're correct on both counts.
3% was the original. Now
it's 0.3%. Now it's 1.2%.
Oh,
yeah. So yes, Micah,
don't make an African listening joke.
Too late.
All right.
Anyway,
Damn it.
Anyway,
Moving on.
okay, this is great. You guys are going to love this. So, what's the one thing missing from virtual reality?
reality?
Yeah.
No, that's not missing at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you can see things, you can hear things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Touch.
No.
No.
Taste.
Smell. Oh, I was gonna. Oh, okay. Taste.
Yeah.
No.
So,
where is this going?
No.
So there's new technology that they basically what they do is they take what they call an electronic tongue and they sample the food, right? It samples the food and it does things like it registers amount of salt or sweet or whatever, right? The ingredients, and comes up with the chemical composition for it, transmits that to the receiver piece, which is what you're wearing, and there's a hydrogel that's in your mouth. And it pumps the chemical mixture into your mouth so you can taste whatever that is.
So many jokes.
Can it always
So
be
many
like
jokes.
peaches and cream or pizza? Because somebody's going to do a Birdie Bots thing and it's going to suck.
Somebody's gonna do the inside of an animal's ass.
You know what, Bro? Oh my gosh, Larry, whatever your name is.
And you go, what does this taste like?
Oh, no. I knew he was going to do that. I knew he was going to do the skunk thing and I was going to...
Come here, kitty. Come here, kitty. Come here, kitty. All right.
What? Oh my god.
Okay, this is just interesting. This is
Okay.
interesting. All right. I'm going to mess this up. I
you're not.
didn't practice
I
this at
believe you.
all.
Oh, no,
and
he's
I'm not
already
good at-
said he's
I'm
gonna
not.
mess
I'm
it
not
up.
good at voices.
No, I
but
believe in you.
Have you ever wondered how Christopher Walken got his voice?
That was good.
Was it pretty decent?
Not
Yeah,
bad.
it was.
So
So how did he get his voice?
there you go.
I didn't do it as well as you
Yeah, Larry just wants to show us both up right now.
did. Do it.
No, not happening.
Okay.
Do it, Larry.
Well,
Do it,
so
do
anyway,
it, do it,
there's
do
an
it,
interview
do
with
it.
him, and he has a very unique speaking style, right? And he's one of the most imitated actors ever. Because
Absolutely.
because of that. So they think they found the secret to it. So he grew up with a Scottish mother and a German father who both spoke with heavy accents, and he grew up in Queens in the 40s and 50s, right?
Okay.
And English was hardly heard English spoken in his neighborhood. It was, and if it was broken English.
Sure.
So basically, there was a lot of hesitation
Yes.
and stuff. And so he just basically, he's saying that he thinks what happened is he just kind of learned to speak that way, kind of like if he was speaking broken English with the hesitations and the emphasis on different words and stuff.
That actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Mixed with some New York.
Yeah. And he says what he does is, like when he's learning dialogue, he doesn't, he treats it as music because he's a musically trained, right? Like a musical actor.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I knew he could dance
Yeah.
really well.
Yeah. And he can sing too. If you've ever heard him sing, he actually sings
I
really
haven't.
well.
Okay.
But basically, he says the way he approaches dialogue is he looks at it a piece of music and he doesn't care if it makes sense. He practices until it starts sounding right. to
Okay.
him, right. And so that could mean that he's emphasizing different parts of the sentence or something like that. So,
Well,
right.
so there's you guys have all heard the Foo Fighters story with Chris Walken, right?
No.
So Dave Grohl never gets tired of telling the story. So there was it was a episode of Saturday Night Live where Chris Walken was hosting, and because Chris is Chris and he wants to be correct, he goes to Dave Grohl and he goes, what's the emphasis on your name? Like, is it Foo Fighters or is it Foo Fighters? And Dave Grohl, being Dave Grohl, went, oh, the emphasis is on fighters. So if you go back and watch, you'll see him go, ladies and gentlemen, Foo Fighters.
And Grohl is sitting there going,
and when they pull over to the band, you can see Dave Grohl laughing his ass off as they're starting the show because he got Chris Walken to do exactly what he wanted him to.
that's hilarious.
I love that, though. I think that, I
Yeah.
mean, it makes perfect sense.
I thought that
too.
was so interesting. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I've always wondered. I mean, the minute you hear Chris Walken, right?
yeah. I thought you were going to do something with cowbell.
Well, that's just too easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on. Well, is that what you got for us this week?
That's it.
That was a great episode of Nerd News. No apologies whatsoever to Christopher Walken. We love you, and making fun of you is something that, as Americans, we all just love.
That's right.
So
We're not making fun of him. We're respectfully jiving him.
Imitation.
which is the same is
Yeah.
the
The
sincerest
highest form.
Yes,
That's right.
of
Yes.
flattery.
That's right.
Don't forget it. All right. Here's
start
how let's
the
do
show.
this. Let's start the show because we need to
Start the
start
show.
the show. Hey, just a quick reminder, we're coming to you this week from Industrial Cigar Company in Frisco, Texas. It is a fantastic cigar lounge. If you are anywhere near Frisco, Texas, you need to come and hang out here. Everybody is awesome. Everybody is awesome. They've got a full bar. They've got a wide range of cigars, some fantastic stuff, and it's just a fun community to hang out in. So please give them your business. Okay.
I think that's their theme song.
I think you're right.
Everybody's awesome.
No. Actually, I started a gratuitous laugh there, and I'm not going to...
Yeah, thank you, Micah,
apologize.
for not doing that.
Come on. Lego movie. Give it to me.
Yeah, no.
Give it to me. Lego movie.
No.
Everybody's awesome. We're going to be singing that all the way home tonight.
Now, if you were making Lego Batman jokes
Okay.
with, what's the dude from...
First time.
Yes.
Will. His name is Will.
Will Arnett.
Will Arnett.
As opposed to Christopher Pratt, who's in every Lego movie ever. Anyway,
There's only 2, right?
let's kick this show off. There's like a dozen of them.
Couple.
Anyway,
4.
every week, one of us brings a bottle, one of us brings some cigars. We all have the topic of conversation. This one is a really good one. But let's kick it off. I had bottle this week, and I am going to pull up my notes because this is a bottle that I have had before. But it's usually, so we're going back to Scotland, boys. So we're having a Scotch this week. However,
Scotland.
a little different.
I don't think so.
This is actually a blended Scotch, and I'm not usually a blended Scotch guy, but we're going this week with a company called Compass Box. So Compass Box was founded in 2000. They are not a distiller. They are a blending company. They have large stocks of maturing whiskeys in Scotland, but their blending room is in Richmond upon Thames in London, which is a neighborhood in southwest London. Incidentally, Richmond upon Thames is the home of the fictional football club Richmond AFC from the Apple TV series Ted Lasso. Great town. Hope to go there someday. Compass Box, this is the blended artist. This is the artist blended Scotch. It was first released in 2011. It is a Scotch dedicated to the artistic community of Edinburgh, Scotland, which is also the capital of Scotland. It comes in at 86 proof. The tasting notes are going to be apple, salted caramel, and baking spices with a creamy mouthfeel and a long finish. Boys, I give you the Compass Box Artist Blend Scotch Whiskey.
Oh, I love the name.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they specifically did this to honor. So Edinburgh, if you've never been there, please go. It's like Hogwarts, basically.
Yeah.
I'm not even making that up. It's like Hogwarts. If you get your letter, go.
Let's go, Richmond.
Yeah, and they really wanted to pay homage to the artist community. There is, if anywhere you go in Edinburgh, you're going to see tons and tons of art. There's tons and tons of live music. There's a great theater community. There's just a lot of stuff going on in the city of Edinburgh, including this Scotch.
Ooh,
Great
nice.
sound.
Boom!
Yeah.
I nailed that.
That's right.
I didn't even try that hard. All right, let me have your glass, sir. Here we go. Even makes that lovely noise.
Right.
Got to have one for our producer.
I had a friend who moved to Edinburgh. I believe it was last summer, just for the summer, and he sent me a picture of when the street they were moving, where their flat was located, and I noticed in like the lower left-hand corner of the picture there was a Mexican food restaurant there, and I jokingly said, "Haha, enjoy your haggis tacos."
And they made them.
The next day, he sent me a picture of the haggis tacos he was eating.
Oh my God.
I'm not joking. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, I would 100% try at least one time a haggis taco. All right, like I said, this is 86 proof in bottle, so probably not a ton of alcohol or ethanol on the nose.
So my favorite flavor of fruit, my favorite fruit ever is apples. Every time you do this, now I can't unsmell it. And I absolutely love it. I always feel like I'm getting some sort of variation of apple.
Oh my! All right, so quick story. Okay,
Hardly any ethanol for me.
No,
I'm getting a lot of ethanol.
No. On the smell.
No, on the taste, I got a lot
Are
of
you
ethanol.
really?
Yeah.
All right,
Wow,
hold
at
on.
86 proof?
Yeah.
Hold on. I'll join you.
Or that, or
getting-
it's super spicy.
I'm getting nice warmth, but I'm not. I'm getting some spice for sure, but I wouldn't say ethanol.
Yeah, it's not burning me so much.
It's good, right?
Fun. That is fun.
So the first time I ever found out about the Scotch, my wife was at a conference in Chicago, Illinois. And she was at a restaurant, and she had this cocktail. It sounded good to her, and she immediately sent me the descriptor on the menu of the cocktail. It was called the Perfect Pair. So you take this Compass Box Artist Blend, you mix it with pear liqueur, lemon, ginger, and a little bit of simple syrup, and it really is a fantastic cocktail.
That sounds awesome.
But again, this is one of those and again, I'm not a huge blended Scotch fan, but I really do like this because first of all, it's a great price point. It comes in like the $35, $40 range. You can drink it neat, you can drink it on the rocks, you can make a cocktail with it. All of those are good choices. So this is the Compass Box Artist Blend.
You know, I was going to say, I'm getting apple, like a lot of it. But then you said pear. You said perfect pear, and I thought, oh, maybe it's because what I'm actually getting is pear.
Could be.
I can taste that. And by the way, I did burp a little bit, and I got the ethanol. I'm not kidding.
So on the way down, not so bad.
On the way down, it's great. On the nose, it's great. When you burp, oh, hello.
Hello. All right. We need a cigar to go with this awesome Scotch. What do you got for us, buddy?
Well, I remembered to bring cigars today. I checked the calendar and everything.
Huzzah! You checked the calendar. I sent you the calendar.
I know.
Yeah.
And then I had
I
to
literally
remind
asked him
Brent bought
twice.
cigars.
I literally
Micah
asked him
doesn't
before the
bring
show,
cigars.
what do I have today?
Yes.
All right. Well, since we're at
Don't be like
industrial,
Micah.
since we're at industrial, we have to try Definition Cigars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is the Equalizer.
Oh, I like the name.
It is,
And I like how dark it is.
Oh, yeah. It is a Ecuadorian Maduro wrapper, Nicaraguan binder and fillers.
Yes.
And it's named the Equalizer not because it kills people, but because of the nice balanced taste.
Oh, well, then I don't want it.
Yeah, right. That's right. I'll just smoke two.
Come on. You know Denzel Washington would want you to smoke that cigar. All right. Oh,
I love these
look at
bands,
that
by the
dark.
way.
Yeah.
This is like a braided band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just think it's absolutely beautiful. I considered doing one of these for the show once too, and I didn't. I'm gonna have to clip it so that it goes on my mug when I actually.
I love the vitola of this is a Salmone, so it's a box press, but it's tapered at both ends. So I'm anticipating a good draw on this.
I am doing a Cuban cut on this.
Or as we like to call it, the Castro. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Still works for my V.
There you go. Very dark, chocolatey.
Very dark and chocolatey. Lots of espresso notes in there.
Yep.
Easy draw, too.
I'm getting a smidge, like on the finish, like a smidge of mint.
On the cold draw.
Yeah,
taste
kind
it.
of weird. Yeah.
I didn't mean to do that in the mic. I was just splat. Wait, hold on a second, everybody.
Never a boring moment on this show.
That's right.
Oh, that's
Oh,
nice.
wow. All right. Well, I'm excited. Let's try it. Let's get in there.
Full disclosure, I've had this cigar before. It is fantastic. By the way, a few episodes back, we actually had an interview with Jaman, who is the founder of Definition Cigars. So that is on our YouTube channel. So go and watch that interview. Great guy. Super interesting backstory of how he discovered and got into cigars. Great story about his grandfather and why he decided to start making cigars. And this is a winner.
This is in my wheelhouse,
Yeah.
baby.
What?
That I know. What?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm
He
telling
did
you right
the Andrew Garfield thing.
Yeah.
Great job.
And
Jamal.
this
Who
is-
watches
My
the
goodness.
American flag?
This is an easy draw, so I'm going to look at Micah and say, take your time.
Yes, sir.
Oh, my gosh. That is so good.
It is
so tasty.
good. That's not just good.
Yeah.
Holy shnikes. And a box press makes an easier draw.
Jaman, another winner,
Come
my friend.
on. Holy moly,
Thank
man.
you so much. Thank you for what you do. All right. We've got our Compass Box Artist Blend Scotch. We've got this fantastic Equalizer from Definition Cigars. Micah. Let's hit him up with the topic tonight. Maybe one of your favorite movies of all time.
Of all time.
And
Okay,
it-
so as you guys know, I am an absolute, and much like the rest of us, but I'm an 80s nut. An absolute 80s nut when it comes to specific types of movies.
Yep.
And I grew up with the Goonies. The first time that video stores opened, I was there renting Goonies. When it finally made its debut on cable, I was taping Goonies off of cable. It was just absolutely wonderful. And as you know, I do a little bit of traveling. I have been to all of the filming locations for this movie. Goonies is a very special place in my heart, and I'm hoping yours as well.
Oh, yeah.
I can't gush enough about this. So, Larry, I will just continue to ramble and babble if you don't just take it.
Okay, so tonight's topic is The Goonies. 1985, a movie directed by Richard Donner, starring a cast of children, some of whom went on to huge, huge things. Some of whom got a second act later in life.
Some of
Hashtag
whom,
Kiwi Kwan.
yeah, some of whom went
well, and
completely
Josh Brolin.
bonkers.
Well, no, Josh Brolin, he just pretty much has been a fixture. But Kiwi Kwan, after he was a child star in The Goonies and Temple of Doom, he kind of disappeared for a little bit.
Yeah.
But then he's come roaring back.
Totally.
Yeah.
In things like Everything Everywhere All at Once, and now he's got Love Hurts.
When
and,
data is falling.
yeah. So, of course, if you watch if you listen to our podcast or watch our YouTube show, you know The Goonies. It was 1985. It's a great movie. It takes place in the Pacific Northwest. It's about a group of kids who all are about to lose their homes because they're being bought out by this big real estate conglomerate. And they decide to go on one last adventure. They've got a little band of friends that they call themselves the Goonies. And they wind up in a true adventure where they're searching for lost treasure. They're being chased by criminals. Joe Pantoliano. It was a great cast and a very fun movie. But I want to start first with when you guys first saw the movie. All right, go back to those years. What was the thing about the film that just completely drew you in?
Andy.
You know what? I had something different lined up, but you're not wrong. I had the most vicious crush on Carrie Green.
So,
and it
so
started
she was
with
the
Lucas.
cheerleader. She was the
Yeah.
cheerleader in the group.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which also had Corey Haim. Oh, no, not Corey Haim.
Corey Feldman.
Feldman.
Corey Feldman. Yeah.
Corey Feldman.
Yeah.
One of the two Corys.
One, two,
Yeah, in the 80s, if you said Corey, you were 50%
Wait,
chance.
Lucas,
With Corey Haim.
Corey Haim, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and Carrie Green was in that. I remember the first time she was playing tennis on that court while he was playing the classical music, and I was just in love.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I was 15 when this came out, so yes, I was.
so yes.
You know, I didn't discount that it's at age 10.
So
Those feelings were real, man.
Yeah. So I was a little older. I think I was 18 when the film came out. And but the thing that appealed to me first and foremost about this film was the fact that the heroes of the story were just kids.
Yep.
And one of the things that I've always loved about certain storylines is who's the protagonist and what are their motivations. And of course, Sean Astin is the main character. He's Mikey, and he went on to he starred in Rudy. We now know him as Samwise Gamgee. He was Bob. God bless your heart, Bob, for giving it up, for giving everything in Stranger Things.
You sacrificed it all.
He did. He really gave it all.
Don't forget Whitewater Summer.
Hello.
Main character.
I've tried
Whitewater
really
Summer.
hard. I've tried really hard to forget that movie, but I just can't. I'm just kidding.
So good.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
But I've always loved the idea of the champions of the story are the kids. And I even went on, later in my career, I worked on a television show where kids and dogs, right? So it wasn't adults. It was about kids being in an adventure. And so that was I think that was the thing that appealed to me the most about this. But then also there's something about a storyline that is ordinary people in extraordinary circumstances.
Yes.
And I think that's an Asimov thing. I think that's what he said science fiction was. He said it's ordinary people in extraordinary circumstances. And Richard Donner remains a genius at putting ordinary people in extraordinary circumstances. Because when the movie starts, you're thinking, oh, it's going to be about a bunch of kids who, they're sad and going. But then all of a sudden, it becomes a pirate movie, and it becomes this great adventure where they've got to get through these caves and these Rube Goldberg type puzzles where the consequences are life and death.
Yes.
And that is the thing that I absolutely loved about this film. And I want to know, so I want you guys to dive in a little deeper to that. So if mine was, it was kids are the hero of the story, what was it that drew you into the story?
Can I start?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the reason why they're called Goonies is kind of important, at least to me. It doesn't matter to any of you. It's okay. But in real Astoria, there's a section of the town called the Goondocks.
Right.
Yep.
And this is a place for plumbers, pipe fitters, blue-collar workers. And the rich people always live further up the hill. So if you've never been to Astoria, the important thing to remember is that the town is kind of structured on a hill, and it actually flows down to the docks. So the lower part of the hill, called the Goondocks, the Goonies. And Troy and his dick father they actually make comments about that, like that, and Andy for that matter.
Yeah.
Because they all live further up the hill. And that's when she says, I'm not a Goonie. And Mikey actually says, well, you're not. And he says you're not because she's not part of the group, but because she doesn't live where they live.
Right.
Gotcha.
And I think it had something to do with growing up, didn't have a lot of money. I could relate to these kids. I had a group of friends that I was hanging out with. We went on adventures. We did all kinds of, not nearly to the effect of these guys, but I mean, I found parallels at age 10 that were just like solidified. And I'm like, I can relate. These people are my people. If I lived in Astoria, I would be on that team.
Well, I connected with Data because
Of course
yeah,
you did.
absolutely.
because that was me. I'm the tinkerer, right? And so I was just in awe. I mean, even though they were movie props and they were kind of ridiculous, and there's no way the Pinchers Apparel would have worked like that, saving from falling on the spike. But just that kind of stuff that just fascinated me, of course, because I was like, that's the kind of stuff I love to do. Just make useless inventions, pretty much.
Oh, you know what? They're not useless if they work.
Yeah.
Well, that was the other thing that I loved about the film was the fact that there were all of these sort of moments in the film that Donner created where it's it's almost like a video game, right? There are these challenges that they have to overcome, so they're on a quest, but within the quest there are these challenges that have to be overcome. And if you dig a little deeper into the Goonies, you discover that there are these really interesting relationships and character arcs.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about Andy for a minute. So she is the cheerleader. The first time we see her,
Head cheerleader.
She is in Troy's car. Troy is the varsity jackass.
First time you see her is when she's on the football field.
Sorry,
doing the pyramid.
you're absolutely right.
Actually,
Yeah.
Sorry,
but we now see her in Troy's car. But who's her best friend?
Martha Plimpton.
It's Martha Plimpton's character, who clearly, like first time we see her, she's got her head dunked down in a crab thing.
Yeah.
Like so, she is
She's a Goonie.
she is a Goonie, right? So right there, now you don't pick this up as a teenager, or maybe you do pick it up as a teenager. You're like, wait a minute, somebody here is crossing click lines.
Yeah. But as head cheerleader, she can.
Yeah, well, she can.
She has more power.
But she can be sort of like, like, am I being beneficent right now, or are we genuinely friends?
Ah, okay.
So you can ask yourself
they're
that question,
genuinely
right?
friends because-
We all knew Troy was a jackass from the beginning.
Totally.
Because he has to be, because it's an 80s movie.
Because
you need a guy like that.
you got to have a heavy.
You got to have the rich
Yeah, and
jerk.
if you need to
you got
see
the
the
rich
actual
jackass.
asshole part of Troy is the deleted scene in the convenience store.
Oh,
Did you guys see this?
No.
He's actually beating up the Goonies.
No.
He comes in there and he's trying to beat it, and then Brand comes in and says, "You want to start some blah blah blah," and he like pushes him up, and Troy gets all.
how did he get? Okay, got it.
Was that before or after the scene where Troy drags him on the car, on the bicycle?
I think that would be afterwards because he would have caught up with Brand after he like flew off the cliff. But if you've ever been to Astoria,
Well, but Brand was he was looking for them and they were at the restaurant. I would think it would have to be before.
Yeah, and I think that's why that scene was deleted, because the continuity was a little bit screwed up. Because the kids all ride down the hill past the Astoria Historical Society, and then they go into town, stop at the convenience store, and get things. But the thing is that Brand doesn't connect with them until the lighthouse. Oh shoot! I guess I'm not a fan.
No, Brand.
It's the light. What's the name of it? The lighthouse.
No, the restaurant.
Something.
No, he connects with them in the restaurant because
Right.
they're in the restaurant, and Mikey goes to the bathroom, and when he's coming out, Brand grabs him and goes, "Let's get out of here."
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why they probably clipped it, because they had this scene before, and then Brand saves them. And anyway.
Speaking of, we thought it was really funny whenever the kids were leaving the house, like, they tied Brand up with a stretchy thing on the chair, and they're leaving the house, and they go and they just take the caps off of his bike.
Oh, I know.
And the tires start going. Psst. We're like, that's not how that works.
I know. He they let the air out of the tires, and then Brand gets all pissed off because he's like, "They popped my tires, my brand new tires."
Well, first of all, if you take those little caps off, the air doesn't actually leave the tires.
Yeah. So
there's a little bit of a continuity issue. Another thing that I loved, and this is Donner all day long, is one of the things that he loves to do in order to get that real world feel, is he encourages the characters to talk over one another.
Yes.
So you got those scenes in the house. True story.
We're Goonies.
We're good. Of course we are.
You've got those scenes in the house where, just all the stuff is going on, and they knock over the statue of David and knock his little penis off.
They'll all be pissing in our faces.
So there's all this, and then there are these, just little, nothing that's important to driving the story forward, but it's just horribly, in terms of character and dialogue, entertaining. Like when Rosalita is introduced.
The marijuana goes in the top drawer.
Yes.
The cocaine goes in the bottom drawer.
Always separate the drogues.
The drogues.
The drogas. I was hearing him in my head say drogas, and I was like, drugs.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny.
The drogas.
Yeah.
So just moments like that, and there's a sort of frenetic pace that Donner has to his movies, where there's always motion and there's always conversation and something's always going on, so that when you get to a moment of stillness in the film, you're really paying attention.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, those scenes were important because they needed to show the bond between these characters and the reason why they were together in the first place.
They were setting up relationships.
They're dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it was so funny. Don't ever go up there. That's where she keeps her sexual
torture devices.
So great.
I wish I knew the Spanish on that. I'm still teaching myself Spanish after so many years. So
and then there's the I
got you, bro.
Thank you, buddy.
By the way,
can you say it in mouths? Torture sexual, or how did he say it?
I don't know.
Oh,
torture.
So you don't have my back.
That's disappointing.
All right.
That's disappointing. Anyway,
sorry.
I can tell you all about the drogas.
Because you have a cabinet full of them separated.
Well, marijuana, cocaine, heroin. Yeah. Anyway, the other feature that I loved about this particular film was the introduction of the Rube Goldberg device, and you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, just to open the gate.
Yeah. Just to open the gate. So that, what I loved about that is it foreshadowed what was coming
Well,
next.
but so to me that was out of place because it was at Mikey and Brand's house. I could see that at Data's house, unless Data set that up for them or something.
Oh, I believe it.
Right?
Yeah. That sounds like something Data would do. And you know what? In a normal situation, I can completely see how you could cut that scene and move on and still get the dynamic. But it was fun.
It was fun.
Well, I think that scene was kind of important because it did sort of set up later on that they have to contend with these Rube Goldberg
Well, that they
devices.
understand how they work too.
Yeah.
Like, like when Mikey pulls the cord, or it wasn't Mikey, it was Andy, right? That pulled the cord and set off the rocks falling down.
Yes.
Andy did.
Yeah,
yes.
Andy did that.
Yeah. And then when he has the key to One-Eyed Willie that he got from Chester Copperpot.
Copper Bones.
Copper Bones. And he turns it and it traps his hand.
Yes.
So now you're just in it until you figure out whether you're going to die or not.
Yeah. Yep.
And then, let's talk about the fact that I don't even know how old Josh Brolin was.
16.
16 years old.
It was his movie debut.
Is that right?
That
It
I
was.
did not know.
Yep.
But I did know he was 16.
Yeah. So, and this is a guy that we now like. I mean, he's won awards and whatever. And, a lot of nerds will remember him as Cable from Deadpool 2.
Right?
I think my favorite role that I ever saw Josh Brolin in was in a film by the Coen brothers called No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
Right.
And what's interesting about that is when he made that movie, and he said this publicly many times, he was dead broke when he made that movie.
What was the first superhero movie that Josh Brolin did?
Oh, gosh.
Was it Deadpool Wolverine 2?
Nope.
No?
The first superhero movie. Oh, Jonah Hex.
Yes!
Yeah,
Jonah Hex.
Yeah.
I love you even more.
I know. And it's okay. A movie that even Josh Brolin was like,
You know what? Since you're talking about that, why don't we go into some Goonies facts?
Yes! Facts.
let's
All
go,
right.
buddy.
So Jeff Cohen, who played Chunk, he didn't do anything after Goonies, right? Matter of fact, he left
Not acting.
Not
not
acting.
acting, but he left acting, and he's now an entertainment lawyer.
Right.
Really, right.
So he stayed in the business,
Very
business, right?
successful.
just on the more lucrative end.
So
apparently.
Very successful.
also, when he got cast for the part, he actually contracted chickenpox. And he was so concerned about losing the part that he still showed up on set to do his part. And you can actually see the chickenpox in the scene where he does the truffle shuffle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't notice.
Yeah.
Is it on his belly?
Yeah, I think it's on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I got to go back and look at that.
I know.
We just watched that movie.
Yeah.
We watched it together.
Yeah. And
One day I'm going to watch things with you.
yeah. Well,
Move closer.
Gotta
Move
move
closer.
closer.
Yeah,
Move
true
closer.
story.
Well,
Move
Larry was
closer.
at my house because he didn't have internet. So,
Yeah.
True
so I'm
story.
like, dude, come hang out.
Yeah, Spectrum, you suck.
So also, I bet you
Hey, Mike,
didn't, I
I
bet
know
you
it's
did
a
not.
long
I
way
bet you
away,
didn't
but
know
please don't.
this. R2D2 is on the deck of One-Eyed Willie's ship.
I did not know this.
Wait, hang on.
Like a
What?
full size or an action figure or what?
No, like there's a little wood carving that's R2D2. Yeah,
Okay.
he's in. If you look on the deck, there's a part where there's like a what are they called what are those?
This is a thing between
the
Lucas
ropes that
and
come down that are
Spielberg.
grids. What do they call it? They call them like a rat something. I
don't
forgot.
know.
Anyway, it's hidden. There's a bunch of stuff on the deck, and he's hidden in there. So
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's a common thing between Spielberg and Lucas.
Yeah.
Like throwing stuff in each other's movies.
oh yeah. Also, isn't there a Batman tumbler on one of the Millennium Falcons?
That I did not know.
I thought there was.
You would know
Or
better
was it
than
on
we
Star
would.
Trek? Maybe that was Star Trek. I'm thinking of. There's a Batman tumbler on one of
Oh,
the ships.
gosh, I don't know.
So the reveal of One-Eyed Willie's pirate ship was withheld, like they didn't know that was happening.
I know this
so
story.
They could get a natural reaction.
Yeah.
Love that.
And what I thought was really cool was, so you know the part where Mikey is telling the story of One-Eyed Willie up in the attic?
Yes.
So in order to get a realistic view of that, or a realistic shot of that, Donner told him the story real quick before they shot that scene, and then that whole scene is him telling the story back
Yeah.
to the camera.
So do you guys know
Such an amazing job.
Yeah.
Do you guys know the story of the actual reaction to when they came up out of the water and saw One-Eyed Willie's ship? Because I've heard Josh Brolin tell the story.
Tell the story
and
for
you're
the
gonna
audience.
and you're gonna need to edit one little thing. You're gonna need to give me a little bleep. So Josh Brolin is 16 years old. He's told the
Oh
story.
yeah.
many times.
I do know this story actually.
So they did not. So by the way, there was no CG. That was a physical set. They built the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was for real. There was no green screen, no nothing. They built that thing, and they did not want the kids to know about it or see it ahead of time. So what they did was they blindfolded them, and they put them in the water, and they said, "We're going to have you go underwater," and then there was a speaker underwater. And it was blubber, but it was going to be 1, 2, 3, go, because they didn't want to have them underwater for too long. But so they submerged, all the kids submerged, and they took off their blindfolds, and they heard the speaker go boom, 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 and they all popped up, and they deliberately popped up with their backs to the ship, and then the direction was when you pop up out of the water, get the water out of your face, turn around. And Josh Brolin says, I popped up out of the water. I wiped the water out of my face. I turned around and I went.
Yeah.
And Donner was so pissed.
Yeah. I was going to say
because the big reveal.
they
Yes.
had to reshoot the scene.
They had to reshoot the scene.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because
I heard that
they
too.
came out of the water and they were crushing stuff, so it's pretty funny. A Millennium Falcon had the bat tumbler on it. Thanks, Chris. Okay, there was a deleted scene involving an octopus battle.
Yep.
At the end of the movie, you hear Data talk about the octopus, and
Yep.
you're like, "What octopus? We never saw an octopus." Yeah, because he was referring to that deleted scene.
Do you know how Data defeated the octopus?
No, because I've never seen the scene.
You haven't?
I haven't.
It's wonderful. So this is so great. Martha Plimpton is walking in the water in front of Corey Feldman, in front of Mouth, and something keeps brushing her legs. And she's like, she keeps turning around going, "Stop it, stop it." And then finally turns around and belts Mouth, like slaps him across the face. She's like, "Why are you hitting me?" And all of a sudden, octopus pops out of the water. So you see like a lot of tentacles under the water, but then you see the big head pop up. And then they have this big old battle, and it's not like a battle, but it's this thing. And then finally, Data takes his tape recorder, or like his Walkman, and he presses play, which somehow is generating music without its headphones, and stuffs it in the octopus's mouth. And then the octopus is like, "Arr!" and then keeps on going backwards and backwards, and that's how they defeat it.
Oh my gosh.
It's awesome.
Maybe they realized that they messed up with the whole.
Oh my gosh, it was so dumb, but it was so much fun.
I do wonder if like the script supervisor or someone in continuity went, "Hey guys, it wouldn't actually be putting out music if there were no headphones."
I'm wondering.
Well,
So I'm sure Donna was like,
"Oh, why are you right?"
Also, so the map, after the prop master finished aging the map, he thought it was missing something. So he cut his finger and sprinkled blood on it.
"Wow."
So the blood on the map is
Alright.
real blood. Yeah. And Sean Astin got to keep that map, but his
Yep.
mom accidentally threw it away thinking it was trash.
I know. Oh my gosh. Oh, little side note for you: if you're looking for supreme detail on the map, the whole edge of it is burned because in the convenience store scene, Troy rolls it up, lights the end of it, and smokes it.
Oh, wow.
Wow. So this was another deleted scene.
Yeah, well, that same kind of scene where he's beating up
yeah.
the Goonies. And when it lands on the floor and they finally get Troy away from the Goonies, then I can't remember who it was, but somebody jumps out of there and just like steps on the thing, putting out the flame on the edge of the map. So you
Interesting.
can actually
All right.
see on the edge of the map a burn if you look super close.
Well, here's a question for you. Which Goonie do you most identify with?
Mikey.
Data.
Wow, that was easy.
Yeah. I mean,
Mikey, 100%.
Okay. All right.
And as a matter of fact, so one of my moments. And
Okay, explain your answer. Let's do that. Show your work.
Mikey he's the creative mind. He's the one who believes in his heart. He's got the passion to see this through. And nobody does accept what they're getting into until it happens. Mikey pushes them into the moments that cause all of the fun events to happen. Because everybody inside the restaurant is ready to leave. They're like, get out. We want to get out. And then Mikey's like, yeah, the only way you can get out is the fireplace. Yeah. And so by the time that happens, they move into it.
That's a great answer. I love that. I mean, for those of us who know you well, Data is the obvious answer.
Oh,
but
totally.
But do explain your work.
well, because again, I'm a tinker. I love to tinker.
Oh, yeah.
And just all his little gadgets. I mean, that would have been me on that adventure. I would have totally been Data.
I feel like the headlights that he put on, you would have improved on, or like had a better battery soak.
I probably would have wired my batteries in series so that I would have, redundant failovers so that my lights would keep working. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Data, if you wanted to do it right.
Okay, Larry, yours.
I'm actually a little bit torn.
It's Martha Plimpton, isn't it?
It's not, but thank you.
That's funny.
I would either be... No, that's just mean. That's just mean. That's just mean.
She's awesome.
We're never mean to each other.
First of all, no, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to our jackass producer. I would have to say. I would have to say.
Come on.
It would either be.
That is kind of Larry.
It
though.
would
You're right.
either be Josh Brolin's character or Mouth.
Okay, Mouth. All right, if I have to make this decision for you, it's mouth.
I don't know. I kind of like Chris's.
Nah, it's not
Sloth.
sloth.
No, it's not
It's
sloth.
mouth.
So if I gave you Baby Ruth right now, you wouldn't eat it?
No. Just on principle.
Hey, you guys.
I got to tell you guys, just to piggyback on what I was saying before. So, and I know I've done some name dropping when it comes to the conventions that I worked on, but one of my most wonderful moments, apart from Ralph Macchio, was when I got to work with Sean Astin.
Yeah.
And so I worked with him for a day. He was fantastic. And then a series of events happened that I did not expect. Apparently, he was staying in the same hotel that I was. So Sean and the other actors that were there came down and just drank with us. And so the big rule is that you're not allowed to talk to the actors. Mm-hmm. You can get fired. It's just that simple. So you make friends with the handlers. And Syra was such a great, great person. And she was actually heading up that for Sean. And I went up to the bar and I'm like, God, I just really want to buy Sean Astin a beer. And she's like, then go do it. And I'm like, thank you. That's the permission I need.
Yeah.
And Syra, that's not why we're friends.
But mostly.
No.
But it helps.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
Didn't hurt.
Not at all.
Didn't hurt.
Syra, you're the best. And you giving
hurt.
me that moment gave me something that I cannot begin to appreciate more than that. Anyway, so I got to buy Sean Astin a beer. I got to sit down and drink a beer with him. And I did not like gush on him or anything. I just talked to him like he was one of our buddies. He is the kind of guy that we would hang out with.
Yeah.
He is that real.
Well,
and I love
you're invited. You're invited, Sean. Anytime. Come hang out. Come on.
Anytime. Well,
I was telling Larry last night when we were watching that the character of Mikey keeps going into these long diatribes, right? About
like me,
like no, like motivational speeches, basically.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was going, he's just prepping for Samwise. This whole movie. That's what he's doing.
Okay.
true story.
Yeah.
Because he wound up doing that in those 3 films.
Yeah.
and Whitewater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to.
You guys
talk
haven't
about,
watched it yet, have
I
you?
have.
Yeah.
You don't know. He watched it a long time ago. I'm the only one of us that hasn't actually watched
Please
it
do.
yet.
Moving on.
One of the things that I love about Donner, and I love this about a lot of directors, is that when they find actors that they love working with, they tend to cast them a lot.
Yeah.
Donner
Over and over.
was great at this. But Donner collected maybe the 3 greatest comedic villains in that one movie.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So he got Robert Davi, Joe Pantoliano, and Ann Ramsey.
Yeah.
And they were the perfect dysfunctional criminal family.
Kids suck.
The Fratellis. They were just completely awesome. I have always and Ann Ramsey was one of the best character actors who ever walked the earth. I don't care what you say. I specifically think of the Goonies, but also she did a movie with Billy Crystal and Danny DeVito called Throw Mama from the Train.
It's great.
And I just like the fact that she didn't win an Oscar for that performance still haunts me to this day. But they were so good together, and they really played into Donner's sense of chaos and movement, and and then you saw Robert Davi and a ton of other films. There was also oh my gosh,
Robert Davi, he trained in opera, right?
he did,
And that
because you
scene-
hear him sing in the
and
film.
those were improvised when he
Yeah,
started
those were singing.
Madame Butterfly
Yeah.
parts he started singing. Yeah.
Did he
And
train
then-
in the first third of the cigar?
Ooh.
That was really good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That was a good one.
I think I'm ahead of both of you, actually. Look at that.
I
This is how
respect
much I'm
that.
enjoying this cigar.
Well, probably not me.
Holy crap, dude!
I'm trying to control. I'm so excited about this subject. It's very difficult.
And this is a really good cigar, too.
It's so freaking good.
So let's talk about it, boys.
Yep.
What are you getting on the cigars right now? I'm getting some. Okay. I'm getting cinnamon toast.
I'm getting dark chocolate.
Yeah, dark chocolate for me.
Well, so I was gonna say cinnamon toast if I spread a little Nutella on it.
I'm not getting any cinnamon on this one.
I'm getting just a little bit of baking spice, which I
Wait, is-
interpret as cinnamon.
like on the back end, or
No, it's up front.
all right.
I'm getting chocolate. I'm getting a little bit of graham cracker.
Yes, That's what's missing. I was sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm in chocolate
It's like
heaven.
a s'more. It's like we're smoking a s'more.
Yes, it is.
S'more.
A s'more.
You know what? Get out there and smoke a s'more.
It's not too late. Another actor who was in that film that Donner wound up using a ton was Mary Ellen Trainor. So in the film, she plays Mikey's mom.
Yeah.
But then we also saw her as
Lethal Weapon. Sorry.
as the psychiatrist, the cop psychiatrist
Sorry,
in the Lethal Weapon series.
I didn't mean to step on that.
She was awesome. No,
She was so much
That
great.
was great. Yeah. So I love it when as a guy who's as an actor, I love it when directors find people that they just inherently work well with.
Yeah.
And they just know when they read a script, they're like, I know exactly who to cast here. We don't even need to have an audition. I know who's going to be perfect for this role. Yeah. And they just plug them in, and it's great.
I don't like that word.
What
But
word?
that's exactly what you're going to be in.
Moist?
Shit. That was the scene. She's like, shit, ma. It's like, I don't like that word. But that's exactly what you're going to be.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You were way over my head.
I know. I do this out of context thing, and then Larry goes, "Brr?"
Yeah. So the guy who was a complete mystery to me the first time I saw the film was the actor who played Sloth.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to wait for the credits to find out that it was former NFL star John Matuszak.
NFL Raider.
Yeah.
Or NFL Oakland Raider.
He was an Oakland Raider.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as the Los Angeles Raiders. There's the Oakland Raiders.
right.
Sorry,
and then
Brad.
there's the
There's
Oakland
only
Raiders
one
who moved to
kinda
Los
Raider?
Angeles. Not
only
Tomb
one?
Raider?
No.
Okay.
What? You're on my side on this. Why are you doing that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I just thought it was funny.
We were talking about a Raider, and then you're like Oakland Raider, but it didn't need specification.
Gotcha.
Sorry, man.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Did not understand, but thank you for explaining that to me.
I talk out of context.
now,
a lot.
I
There's-
learned something today.
There's something that I want to bring up because I think Micah brought this up on a previous episode. I think I heard you say, no, you brought it up in Nerd News. There's plans on the table for another Goonies movie.
Believe it when I see it.
Yeah, it was last week or the week before. I think. Yeah, Micah doesn't believe it. I mean, according to Variety, it's officially happening. Spielberg's on board. Laura Shula Donner's on board.
I'll tell you this: if it happens, I am ecstatic.
Yeah,
Because they're using original cast. I mean, even if Corey Feldman has gone so far off the rails,
yeah.
I'm still on board with this. It's been in the works. It's been in rumor for, God, freaking 20 years.
Sure, yeah.
And until it actually happens, I'm sorry, I'm not going to nibble.
I mean, I just really think that it's. Honestly, I don't know if Goonies needs a second one.
It doesn't.
Yeah,
I agree 100%.
It's like Beetlejuice, guys.
yeah.
Oh,
Did you
my-
guys see the second Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
It didn't need that.
No,
Wah, wah,
it didn't
wah.
need it.
Yeah. And it's like
It
this. It's
didn't
like,
need it.
don't mess with this. Don't mess with Labyrinth. Don't mess with Neverending Story.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Yeah.
It is a testament to kind of where Hollywood is these days, and quite frankly has been for a long time.
It's like when they made George of the Jungle 2 and they recast Brandon Fraser's part.
I know.
I was like, did there need to be a number 2? I mean, number 1 was so amazing.
Neverending Story.
I'm totally kidding. Because
Neverending Story had the lead character who played in the 80s It. They replaced what's his face? Bastion.
Bastion.
Yeah. They replaced him with that guy who played Stuttering Bill in It. And it was like, stop. Just stop.
So a big issue with major studio movies, right? So now the state of cinema these days is if you've got an iPhone, you can make a movie. The Oscars were just this last weekend. We saw a lot of independent films do very, very well. But with studios, the problem seems to be is that they just can't not go back to what they know.
Well, so this
keep
movie
milking it.
this movie was shot in 5 months, had a $19 million budget, and made $124 million. So of course the studio's going to go, hey, if we can replicate this,
Yeah.
Right.
I mean that's a great return on investment, right?
I see the business reasoning,
Yeah.
but from a loyalist standpoint, for the things that we loved, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
it's like Red Dawn. Okay, did anybody see the remake? With
Yeah.
Yes.
So I didn't hate the remake,
Oh, I did.
but it didn't need it.
No, I hated it.
What Patrick
I
Swayze
legit
and his
hated it.
crew did with that was just wonderful.
That comes from, I mean, we're getting a little bit off topic here, but
No, I think we're on top.
that comes from, Hollywood went through this sickness, and I think they still suffer from it a little bit. Maybe they're starting to recover from it, but they just decided we have no more original ideas. We're just going to remake movies that did really well before, you know? Mm-hmm. I mean, like, did they need to remake Total Recall? Come on.
No. I mean,
No.
to me, it was fun. Same thing with the new RoboCop, but again, still did not need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't. There are some movies that lend themselves to franchise. All right, I get that. The Goonies was not one of them.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I think the story was pretty complete.
So I'm hoping beyond all hopes, because you know that they're going to do it, especially with, I never pronounce his name right.
Kiwi Kwan.
Kiwi Kwan. Thank you. With his popularity and Sean Astin's popularity and Josh Brolin's popularity, they have something that they can make money on.
They absolutely do.
From a business standpoint, I get it.
Well, I mean,
but
really,
stop.
I mean, really, I think the only thing they can do is just, it's a cliche is that the new Goonies would be those characters' kids.
Yeah.
They stayed in Astoria. They get married. Like maybe Andy and Brand get married, maybe. Or maybe Mikey and Andy get married. I mean, they pretty had a pretty steamy scene in the tunnel there.
Yeah. Oh, that one kiss.
Yeah. I think he was standing
That's
in a
how
hole.
you make babies.
I think he was standing in a hole because he was.
That's
so
right.
maybe
Sean Astin's character actually marries Carrie Green.
yeah. So maybe
F. Josh Brolin.
right. So maybe it's their kids now have a new adventure, right?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
Could be.
could be.
Yeah, I just don't want it.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, we don't need it, right?
No. That's it. It's not just that I don't want it. We don't need it. Don't do it. Stop.
Yeah, please stop. Please stop. It was okay, so a couple weekends ago, my wife and I found ourselves on a Sunday with nothing to do, and she goes, "Hey, let's watch a trilogy all day. Let's just watch a movie trilogy all day."
Awesome.
I'm like, okay, can we find any trilogies that we haven't both watched before?
Oh.
So we were scrolling around, and we were prepared to watch, trilogies that we'd seen before. And then she goes, "Hey, wait a minute. Have you ever seen the Chronicles of Narnia?" And I went, "No, I've never seen it."
Really?
So, I mean, I know the story, C.S. Lewis.
Sure.
I'm like, I know the story. But she's like, I've seen bits of it, so let's watch it. So we sat down, and we watched the first Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, all the way through. Yep. Sat on the sofa, watched the whole movie.
Swinst.
And then, at the end of the movie, when the credits are running, my wife goes, "Yeah, I don't need another one of those."
All right, so
There's only so much Turkish delight you can.
fair. You know what? Just for full disclosure, I didn't hate the other two movies. So if you feel like getting into it, then get into it. But I think that book loyalists were really satisfied with the first one. Maybe not you guys, since you decided not to go further.
No, we did not.
But I thought it was fun seeing that stuff brought to life when it never really had.
But this has an interesting point to bring up because studios tend to put out what they perceive the audience wants, right?
Yeah.
So now the boomers has sort of faded out. Now it's us. Now we're the older generation, the Gen Xers. So think about how many movies and television shows we watched as teenagers that are now being remade, right? There's a bunch of them. And I believe that there are certain stories that don't need additions. When did it become a thing where, and by the way, science fiction books are the worst at this, because if you write a good science fiction novel, you can't get published unless you can convince the publishers you've got 10 more books in the pipeline.
I didn't know that.
Because that is, I mean, think about any science fiction books you've read lately. They're all part of a series.
Yeah.
Right? So they're trying to take this formula, it seems to me, and replicate it across cinema, and we don't need it. Why can't we just have one good story, and that's the story?
Yeah. The Red Rising series is actually pretty good. They should probably jump on that shit.
Yeah, I think there's some there's some rumor about development about that.
Oh yeah, no,
But,
the rights have been purchased. They've been purchased for over 15 years.
You know, so along those lines, so like, let's say they do a sequel to 16 Candles and they keep the same characters, but now it's called 60 Candles. Yeah, Ghostbusters. Oh my gosh, yeah.
No, okay,
How many
Dude,
Ghostbusters
I had a
are
drink in my mouth. Don't do that to me.
Since you brought
Not
that
cool.
up, the first one that they redid with the tribute to Egon, that was
Yeah.
fun. That was so magical.
Was that Frozen Empire?
No, the one right before it.
Oh, what was that called? I don't remember what it was
I'm
called.
having a hard time, Chris. All right, so
Oh no, yeah. So they'd moved out to Oklahoma.
Afterlife. It was
Afterlife.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
Now that
Afterlife.
movie, I loved Afterlife.
Did you really?
Loved it. I felt like it was a logical continuation. That worked. Now Frozen Empire. Oh my gosh, Afterlife did so well. Let's do Frozen Empire. It
Yeah.
was garbage.
Let's put Paul Rudd in there.
I know, because Paul Rudd makes you money, but not with Quantumania.
Well, I think there are. Oh, let's not even. Can we not talk about the female
Yeah.
Ghostbusters movie?
We don't want to
please?
get canceled. Thanks, Chris, but we don't want to.
By the way, you're our producer. Can you not help us stay on topic?
Yeah, what the hell, man?
What? Literally, what is your job?
Bow your head in shame.
Yeah. Okay,
Thank
well
you.
done.
Good.
Well done, you.
we need to give Chris a mic so he can speak in our ears and goes, "Shut up and get back on topic."
Yeah. No, he can do it with his stupid phone that he's like. And by the way, thank you for putting your text in all caps because my eyesight is not great.
I actually
And
saw
like,
it too.
Appreciate
and like
that.
300-point type. We appreciate
Yeah,
that.
exactly. We need that. So there are some stories that should just live on their own, right?
Yes.
We can
Yes,
agree
for
on
sure.
that.
Yep.
And I do believe that Goonies is one of them.
Absolutely.
Let's not. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's a great story.
So have you
Let
guys
it be by itself.
Have you guys ever seen any of the filming locations at all?
No, that's
Well,
your. That's
it was mostly
your thing,
it was
bro.
shot in Astoria, Oregon, except for the caves in the ship, which were a soundstage.
Right, and Cannon Beach, which is funny because in one of the deleted scenes, Mikey actually identifies that Cannon Beach is the location for the entrance to these tunnels. He's like, we could go there, and you know what? The distance between Cannon Beach and Astoria is not a bike ride.
Yeah.
Just going to go ahead and say that.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you guys, this is a lot of fun. If you ever get a chance to go to Astoria, this is so much fun. If you go to the bowling alley where Chunk was, when he smashed the pizza
Yep.
and the strawberry shake up against the window, they have.
And what did he say, Micah?
Oh shit! Now you can go there. They've got this great T-shirt up on the wall that has a little caricature of Chunk, and you can't buy it, which sucks.
Oh my
but
gosh.
they do have a plastic like shake and pizza on the windowsill where that scene was shot.
That's
Oh, wow.
really nice.
It was fantastic.
I love that. Okay, full disclosure. The first time I showed my daughter the Goonies, she was 7 or 8 years old. Mm-hmm. And I said, Boo, that's her nickname, Boo. I said, I'm going to show you a movie that was a huge part of my childhood. And I can't wait to share this with you. It's going to be hysterical. You're going to love it. We're the three of us, my daughter, myself, my ex-wife, are watching the movie. That scene rolls up. Splat. Ah, shit. And my daughter looks at me like, what have you gotten me into? What are we doing right now?
Yeah.
Her mom wouldn't talk to me for like 3 days
come
because
on,
of one
Mom.
word. But by the way, I will say this. That set my daughter on the right path because I was like, Boo, you're going to hear these words.
Yeah.
And you're just and it's part of life. Don't pay no attention to your mom. Pay no attention to your mom. Watch the movie. She ended the movie and she was like, Dad, that was so much fun. Like I felt like I was there. I want to be a Goonie.
Me too.
You know?
Yeah.
She was like into it, and it set her on a path that she still travels to this day because her aspirations, she wants to write for movies and television. And that was one of the first films that she ever watched with me. She was like watched all the way through, and it was like and by the way, my kid, and you guys probably have this in your family. My kid is the kind of kid who can watch a movie once, and if she likes it, she remembers everything about it.
That's awesome.
She can
But
quote any moment.
That's genetics.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Sorry.
But I was so proud in that moment. But at the time, I was so scared because she was like, did he just say? I'm like, yes, he did. And it's going to be okay. All right, listen. You guys have heard a million stories about Ella. I will just simply say this. If my daughter were here right now, she would definitely be asking us about the middle of this cigar. She's never smoked a cigar in her life.
Does she smoke cigars?
No, in her life. But she would be like, hey, Dad, this is the part of the show where you need to talk about that.
I feel like this cigar is very consistent.
Am I beating Micah?
You're beating me.
Look at this.
You're moving toward the final third.
Oh my god.
I'm loving this cigar.
I am
It's a great
too.
cigar. Yep. 100%.
So good. Great
Yeah.
choice, guys.
I'm getting a lot of chocolate and coffee note right now.
Totally.
100%.
And it is just rich and yummy.
Yeah.
And if I could somehow make this cigar Irish, I would do it. You know what I'm saying?
You can dip it. You can dip it in the
no, sir. No, sir.
yeah.
I will not Schwarzenegger this cigar.
So, Brent, since we're pretty far down on this, I got to ask, are you getting any barbacoa?
No, it's mostly chocolate, espresso, a little bit of nutty.
I'm getting no savory on this at
Yeah,
all.
no savory.
I am where I am right now. I'm happy with that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
We should tell some jokes.
You know what? I
know
think
what?
you're
We should do
right,
that.
Micah. Let's go to a section of the show that we like to call.
It's the greatest joke in the world.
All right. Love that scream. This is the part of the show where
we got to get the bottle.
Hang on.
Okay, sorry.
This is the part of the show where we do dad jokes to each other. And here's the deal. If any of us laughs or guffaws or chortles or snickers or snorts at somebody else's joke, they have to take a shot of what we all consider to be a generally shitty whiskey. In this case, it's what's left of the Rocktown. And by the way, the fact that that bottle is so low should tell you how much we've been laughing at each other's jokes.
Check that. Oh my
so
gosh.
this week, we're going to start with Micah.
Ladies and gentlemen,
'Cause
the
last week we
punishment that's
started-
coming after
It
this.
is.
Oh my god.
I'm
Yes,
so
it's bad.
I'm so scared.
It's bad. All right,
All right,
Micah,
start
hit us
with
with
me.
your first joke.
Okay. Well, to make a long story short, I became an editor.
Okay.
Please put your crickets in that one.
Cricket's going in that one.
Cricket.
All right, moving on.
Hey,
I did it.
listen. This is just a little piece of wisdom for you guys. Tequila may not solve all your problems, but it's worth a shot.
I like that one.
Thank you.
We used to say that in bars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brent, what do you got?
Well, this morning Siri said, "Don't call me Shirley," and then I realized I left my phone in airplane mode.
Oh, my God. Wow. You nailed him. Oh, what? Wow.
I got a snort even. Oh my gosh. I got 2 snorts, 3 snorts. Wow.
Wow. Get yourself some Rocktown, son.
I'm getting there.
Wow. Holy shit. That came out of nowhere.
Wait, because this bottle is almost empty, the obligatory, oh no. Oh wait, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Boom.
Still sounds like it's coming out of a tin can.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know what else to do. Yeah. No,
Somebody only better laugh once.
yeah, right? Hit it.
We'll go into deficits.
Wow, dude. You
we'll go
got
to
him
deficits.
hard with
Yeah.
that one. That was good.
Oh,
All right, Micah.
fudge a muffin.
Round 2.
Round 2.
If you can talk.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
You know, I made a chicken salad last night. Apparently, they like grain. Wait, I saw
That counts.
that.
That counts?
That counts. You
All
broke.
right.
You
all
went-
right. All right. Now we've got a real problem, though.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
All right,
Because
the baby
that's-
Oh no!
Oh.
You know what? We'll save up for the next bottle.
Well, I
We'll keep a
think-
tally.
I owe
I
you.
do think because we've still got some whiskey in our actual glasses.
Okay.
It's not a punishment,
Yeah.
kind of. But if anybody else laughs, they got to shoot their drink.
Okay.
Oh, that was the bottom.
That was the bottom.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Rocktown is dead.
Yeah,
Ugh,
and
finally.
I had the worm.
You saved me. Thank you.
There was worm in bourbon.
I had the worm.
Gross.
Have you guys heard about this new sport called quiet tennis? It's played just like regular tennis, but without the racket.
That's funny. I hate to do the Scrubs Mandy Moore thing, but that's funny. That's so funny.
Fair enough.
That's so funny.
All right. Well, when I was in college, I was dating this girl, and I told her, "Hey, let's meet at the gym," and she never showed up. We didn't work out.
Uh-oh. That's got a screw top bottle on it, Micah. And you're so close to laughing. Okay, yeah, all right. I don't even know what that is. I will say I can't read the
What's the label on that? What's
So
that
yeah,
say?
so Hawk just brought something called Akashi Ume,
Okay.
which sounds like the Japanese for fish sauce. It looks like urine, so it might be really, really bad.
I mean, it's in a medicine bottle.
It is in a medicine bottle.
It's got a screw off
Well,
top.
I mean, let's
Yeah.
try it. All right. All right.
Screw off top.
Is this
All
the
right.
last round? Last round.
This is
Here
the
we go.
last round.
Okay.
All right, Micah.
Are you ready? All right. What do you call a boomerang that doesn't come back? A stick.
No.
I just got a job as the senior director at Old McDonald's Farm. I'm the CIEIO. You went.
I will give you points for how you committed to that. All right,
Okay,
Micah.
buddy.
All right.
Let's try the Akashi Ume. First of all, smell it and tell me what you think.
Is it a punishment? It's Listerine, isn't it?
No. I don't know.
Boom.
Oh, that's easy.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's not a punishment.
All right. What do you got, buddy?
You know, I just realized that the cork for that Rocktown looks like a suppository sitting on the table.
Is that your joke?
No, just an observation.
Do you want to try that out later, or what do you?
I mean, we can save it for
All right.
you.
Well,
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
I was at the doctor the other day, and I said, "Doctor, I think I'm shrinking." And he said, "Hey, calm down. You just have to learn to be a little patient."
So dumb.
No.
Almost got Chris.
Well,
Oh well. I'm happy with my victory on the first joke.
I think you should be. That was well done, you. And that
Yeah,
was a
and-
very mediocre version of.
It's the greatest joke in the world.
It never gets old. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, tonight we have been talking about one of our favorite films from the 1980s, The Goonies. You've all seen it. Go watch it again.
It's such a good movie.
It's such a
We were laughing
great-
so hard last night. I mean, it's one after the other, the jokes.
Yes.
When those kids are talking.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's so
Yeah,
funny.
thank you to Richard Donner for making that film. Thank you to the wonderful cast, those who are still around and those who have passed on. It is definitely one that is going to live in our memory forever. Hey, if you have an 80s movie that we've never talked about on this program, you need to let us know what it is and what you loved about it. All you have to do is go to nerdherfers.com. And while you're there, subscribe and then also drop us a note. Go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@nerdherfers. Subscribe while you're there and hit us up in the comments section and let us know. We would love for you to be a part of this conversation. We are going to hit you up again next week with another topic that I have no idea what it's going to be.
Yeah, we usually have that.
We
prepped.
usually have that loaded up, but honestly,
No, we have no
we
idea.
have all been so
It's a
busy
mystery.
because we're middle-aged dudes with jobs. We're just like, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We like to sleep.
We do like,
Well, not
Brent
Brent.
and I like to sleep. He doesn't like to sleep. Brent does not like to sleep.
That's true.
But we're going to hit you up next week, and I don't know if we're going to be here at Industrial, but we were here tonight, and God bless those guys. They're so great. That's going to do it for us this week. I am Larry Brantley. That is Micah Donahoe.
Goonies never say die.
And that is Brent Williams.
Hey, you guys.
Hey, just remember, not only do Goonies never say die, but hopefully there's never going to be a second Goonies movie. Leave it alone, people. Leave it alone.
Leave Brittany alone.
We love you guys. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye. This has been a production of Nerdherfers. Copyright 2025, all rights reserved. No portion of this broadcast may be used without permission. Please visit nerdherfers.com for more information and full legal disclaimer. You